What's going on, guys? I'm Chair Josh. I'll be bringing you my RBA Week 1 match versus SSA and Ranagan Bulldogs. But yeah, shout out to myself for creating this layout. It actually looks pretty beautiful. I'm pretty proud of myself for creating this. But yeah, as you can see, we have a capture card recorded battle. Shout out to Skytrainer Silver. I'll link his channel in the description because he's a pretty cool guy. He was generous enough to record this for us, and I couldn't be more grateful to him. And even better is that I got the battle in my perspective, so you'll be able to see what I was doing on my side. And I guess I'll go over my plays as well throughout the match if I do need to do so. Hopefully, I can explain my plays in a fast amount of time. But yeah, looking at his team, he didn't bring the Victini. And it's not because he felt like it was a bad matchup. I found out after the match that he couldn't get Victini to work on his game, so he couldn't bring it, and he was 100% going to bring it versus me, but due to complications in genning, he couldn't get it to work. So as a result, he doesn't have Victini, and that means I'm going to be in a pretty good spot. He has the Raichu. I wasn't really scared of Raichu, but I guess it could be kind of scary with like HP Ice, Grass Knot, 2 stabs, with like Thunderbolt Volt Switch. But I have an Amoonguss to handle it, so I'm not really too scared of it. He has a Golduck, I have an Umbreon for that. He has a Politoed, I have an Umbreon for that. He has a Weavile, I have a Poliwrath for that. He has a Manectric, I have a Donphan, slash an Amoonguss for that, and an Umbreon for that. And he has a Skarmory, which I don't have too much for, actually, if he is especially defensive. But I do have Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, potentially a Skull Burn if I can fish for it. So, and maybe Donphan could outspeed it if he is somewhat speed invested. Actually didn't calc if I outslow Skarmory. So, yeah, let's get on to the match now as I'll be able to start it. Hopefully the audio isn't too loud, but hopefully you guys can hear me just fine. Anyways, I'm going to lead with my Kyurem as he's going to lead straight with his Skarmory. Okay, yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me because it's okay. Yeah, he goes with his Skarmory. I'm going to click Ice Beam. I have no reason not to because I get to see if he's specially defensive or physically defensive. And as you'll see, after this Ice Beam damage, it only does around 40%. And according to the calc, that is definitely especially defensive Skarmory. And as you see, Iron Head isn't doing too much, especially after leftovers. I can easily force this thing to go for Roost, and due to pressure, I beat this thing 1v1, so I force the switch or it dies. I go for the Ice Beam as he goes for Roost, going back to about 60%, which is okay. I can continually click Ice Beam, and I'll be good to go. But since I'm faster, I can't click Earth Power on the Roost. But you know what? That's okay because I might be able to fish for a freeze. Might get a crit. Get it's Pokemon we're playing. What do we expect? He goes for Iron Head here instead of like Stealth Rock, and that's good because I won't die. And if he switches, or even after I kill, I'll be at a good amount of HP. In fact, I'll be at about 76, 75. So I am going to force the switch, and I get to fire off an Ice Beam on something, and he is going to go into his Raichu. So this is going to do a tremendous amount of damage. As you'll see, even without the Life Orb, Ice Beam will do a lot. And as you'll see, I do get the Scumbag Freeze. So let me explain the freeze and how much it potentially matters. The only reason why it doesn't matter is because I can pretty safely stay in. If he wakes up, the odds of him waking up and clicking Focus Blast against me, which I do expect him to have on that because he hard switched into it, is very, very unlikely. If he wakes up, hit the Focus Blast, if he unthaws and hit the Focus Blast, then I guess it wasn't meant to be. So I'm just going to stay in, and I'm going to get my leftovers recovery. So thanks to the freeze, I'm going to be up at about 87, and he does stay frozen, and I'm going to be able to pick up the first kill of the match with Ice Beam on my Kyurem. It didn't really matter. The only thing it did was give my Kyurem more HP, but I had a pretty good switch-in with Amoonguss because the Focus Blast was pretty obvious. So now he's going to go into his Weavile. I have a pretty good switch into Weavile, and it's known as my Poliwrath. So I'm going to go into my Poliwrath because there's no reason to not, because it just doesn't do anything to me. I'm going to go into my Swagpool, and he's going to go for the Low Kick, which is a pretty good play, but as you'll see, it doesn't do anything. I almost brought Rocky Helmet, but Leftovers was just better, so I can stay healthy. And after Leftovers, I'm going to be at about 150 HP, about 149. I'm going to fire off a Skull because I have no reason to click Circle Throw, knowing he is going to switch, and I can try to get a burn. I'm going to go for Scald, and this does absolutely nothing. So that damage tells me he is 100% Assault Fist. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what he's going to click versus me. I'm guessing he's going to click something that doesn't allow me to stay in here. So I'm going to switch into my Amoonguss. But honestly, I should have expected a Psychic move, because what else was he clicking versus me? And he's going to go for Psyshock, and this is going to do a lot of damage, because I don't have a lot of physical defense investment. In fact, I don't have any whatsoever. So that's going to do a lot. But thanks to Regenerator, I'm not going to be in too bad of a spot. So I could just switch into my something. What do I switch into? I switched into Umbreon. Yes, I switched into Umbreon as he goes into his Skarmory. Now this is kind of bad, because now he gets to go up. He gets to go for a roost, because I don't outspeed and I don't kill a foul play to begin with. So now I have to switch, and I'm going to go into my Jirachi, because it's my cleanest switching I have. I'm going to go straight into Brian. I'm bringing to max HP because it's good versus his team. And he's going to go for the roost, going to go up to about 70%. I get to go for a clean Stealth Rock, as he is also going to go for Stealth Rock, so that puts a little bit of pressure on my Kyurem if it ever does hit the field. But hopefully I can spin the rocks before it ever does, because he doesn't have a Ghost type on his team. So he doesn't spin block versus me. Anyways, I go for T-Bolt. It's a 2-hit KO. I do get the Para, which is definitely kind of unfortunate. But he goes for the Taunt, so it's not like it really mattered. The only thing it does for him is that now he doesn't outspeed anything on my team. So I guess that's unfortunate, but if anything, that's better for him, because I can't go for Earthquake on my Donphan on a Roost, potentially. Anyways, I go for the T-Bolt. I should have predicted that. He goes into the Manectric, and he gets a +1 special attack boost. So I'm like, okay, he's probably going to click the Overheat. It's pretty obvious. So I'm going to go into my Umbreon. A +1 Thunderbolt, if he is timid, won't do a lot to me anyways. And I can just go for Wish Protect, and I'll be okay. So he's going to Mega Evolve, go for the Intimidate drop for me, versus me, excuse me. And that doesn't really matter, because I'm not going to be clicking Foul Play versus this thing anytime soon. As he is going to go straight for the Overheat, so now if I really want to, I can go into Donphan, and I become a pretty good wall to this thing. I can get rid of the rocks, and I'll be good to go. But as you see, Overheat does absolutely nothing to me. So now I'm thinking that going for Wish is my best play possible. He's going to go for the Thunderbolt, and it's going to do absolutely nothing, now that he's -2, and I'm max special defense. Now I'm going to go for the Wish, and I don't want him critting me, but I don't think he's going to crit me, so I'm just going to go for the Foul Play here, I'm pretty sure, or do I click Protect? Let me see. Yeah, no, I just stay in and go for the Foul Play. I have no reason not to, because I would, no, if a crit would kill me, but I felt like he wasn't going to. So he's going to go into his Weavile. He's going to take Stealth Rock damage plus a Foul Play, so this is going to do a lot, and I do mean a lot. So yeah, Foul Play is going to go off, and this is going to do around 50%. So I'm going to get my Wish back. I'm going to be all the way up to 167 after leftovers, about 179, I'm going to guess. Yeah, okay. And now I'm going to click Wish, because I have no reason not to. He has Life Orb, so he doesn't beat me 1v1. And as you see, I'm going to go for the Wish. And according to that damage, I can definitely die to a crit, so I'm not going to go for Foul Play here. That would just be a bad play, especially if he did crit me, because this thing just beats his team. He doesn't have anything to kill it. So I'm just going to go for Protect. I can't risk the crit. If I risk the crit and I get crit, then I'm going to be in huge trouble. So I can't do that. I'm going to go all the way up to pretty much full because of the Wish. And now he's going to go for the Ice School Crash, I'm guessing for the flinch chance, because it's 20%. So I can't blame him for trying. He is going to go for the Ice School Crash. Does a good amount. Does like 45%. And I am going to get the Wish off, luckily. If I got flinch, I guess I would just go into the Poliwrath. I didn't. I would be good to go. So now I'm just going to go for the Protect again, because I don't want to get crit. Because if I get crit, I would be in huge trouble, because I don't really have a clean switch in for Golduck anymore after that, as you see, because he has the Psyshock. So now I saw he was clicking knockoff, so I was like, I want my leftovers on my Umbreon, because it's pretty important to have that recovery. So this is going to be my knockoff switch. I'm going to lose my leftovers, but that's completely fine, because I didn't need leftovers too much on this thing, because it's only here to counter the Weavile, and the Weavile dies. So as a result, this was my knockoff switching. So now he's going to go into Usain, and I have a pretty clean switch-in known as Donphan. And I'm guessing the way he brought that in, he wants to kill my Poliwrath immediately. So I know he isn't going to collect HP Ice or something else along the lines. So I'm going to go into my Donphan. take a little bit of Stealth Rock damage as he goes straight for the Thunderbolt. So I'm good to go. I'm good to go for Rapid Spin as he's going to switch into a Skarmory. So he's going to take Stealth Rock damage plus a Rapid Spin, which I guess kind of helps. He'll do like 15%. But as you'll see, even though he's specially defensive, he does have a Rocky Helmet on him, which is definitely pretty interesting, I guess only for my Donphan. But now, according to my calc, knockoff kills from this range, even if he was Fizz Def, he died. And he's specially defensive, so he's 100% dying to that knockoff. So now there goes the second Pokemon on his team. And the third Pokemon on his team, actually, because Skarm, Raichu, and Weavile died. So now it's 3-6. I'm looking pretty good right now. As he goes into the Politoed. And at this point, I'm just going to go into my Poliwrath. It's a pretty good switch into this thing. And I'm going to switch. And as you see, I go into my Swag Pool, because unless he goes for Toxic, or even if Psychic, I would eat pretty well. He goes for Scald. Nice, delicious water. Yum, 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 yum. H2O. Too good. I can't tell if he's faster than me because I lost my leftovers, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go for Scald here. He does outspeed me when I find that right here. And he does have Toxic for, I'm guessing, just this Pokemon and my Umbreon. As I go for the... No, I lied. I go for Circle Throw because I just want to get this thing out of here. Get some good damage plus Stealth Rock. That way I can put it in range of 2 Thunderbolts. He is going to go into his Manectric. That was, I guess, worst case scenario. But what are you going to do about it? I have a pretty good switch in, but... So I'm just going to go into my Donphan. But as you see, he is going to pull a double into his Golduck, predicting my Donphan. So I do give him respect there. Predicting that switch really, really well. And I don't really have a clean switch in for this thing, as he isn't choiced. So he can easily go for whatever move he wants. So yeah, as you see, I'm just going to make a sequence of plays where I go into my Donphan. Thanks to my Rapid Spin, I don't take Stealth Rock damage, so that is huge. So I'm going to switch now into my Amoonguss, because if he goes for a Psyshock, I'll be good to go. As you see, he goes for the Psyshock, predicting my Amoonguss. So this guy is just making plays, but I don't blame him. He needs to make plays to potentially come back in this match. So I'm going to be able to switch, get my regen back. So I'm going to go into my Umbreon, because that was probably the play I should have done before, but I didn't want to eat a Hydro Pump, because Amoonguss easily eats Hydro Pumps for breakfast. So I'm going to go into my Umbreon. He clicks Psyshock. I have no reason to not click Foul Play here, as that is 100% what I'm going to do. Excuse me, I had a burp. And he's going to go into his Politoed. He's going to take Stealth Rock plus Foul Play. So this is going to be good damage on him. Or do I go for Wish? I don't even remember. No, I go for Wish. Yeah. Just in case he went for the Hydro Pump, I'd be able to eat 2 of them. Even if he did crit. But he does choose to switch. He goes into the Politoed. And I don't know what he's going to do to me. So he's going to go for the Perish Song. So at this point I was thinking maybe he had Whirlpool. Because so far I had seen Scald, Toxic, and Perish Song. And I haven't seen his 4th move. So I was thinking maybe he actually does have the Whirlpool. So at this point, predicting the Whirlpool, I'm going to go into the Jirachi. Because I don't take a lot from Whirlpool, obviously. Because I'm a Jirachi. I could have also gotten into Amoonguss. But I felt like Jirachi was just a better play. Because I hit harder with Thunderbolt. But as you see, he goes straight for the Scald. Which I find pretty interesting. And he's going to get the crit, so that's going to do a lot of damage. So I'm like, that kind of blows, because 2 Scalds would not have crit me. I mean, would not have 2-hit KO'd. And he didn't get the burn either, so I would have been able to click Thunderbolt, and I would have been good to go. But it's fine. I'm going to switch into my Swag Pool, predicting another Scald. And he is going to go for the Scald. I'm going to go up to full, but it doesn't matter, because of the Toxic damage. I'm going to be taking the 6% right now, I believe. Yeah, 6%. From Toxic, as he is slowly getting leftovers recovering, and I don't want him to be at full. And he has to switch here, so I'm 100% clicking Scald. I have no reason not to, because I could potentially get a burn on the Golduck, and I know he doesn't have any way to get rid of it because he is Assault Vest, and I'm not going to knock off his Assault Vest. So if I do get the burn, this would be pretty huge. I'm going to go for the Scald. This is boosting the rain, and I don't get the burn, which kind of sucks. So now at this point, I got to choose what I want to switch in. But I predict him to go for the Ice Beam, predicting my something. I don't know what I was predicting. I just felt like he wouldn't click Psyshock, and I'm going to go for the rest here. No, I'm going to go for Circle Throw, because this will do a lot of damage. And even if he did click Psyshock, it wasn't going to do a lot. But yeah, I just felt like predicting the Psyshock would be pretty fun, and I actually did. So that's cool. He's going to go back into his Politoed, going to set up the Drizzle, which is best case scenario, because I don't have to predict around the Manectric right now. And at this point, I have no reason to not click Rest, because Toxic is doing a good number to me. as you see, after his toxic damage, I believe I'm going to be under 100 HP. Yeah, I will. So I have to go for the rest here. I have no choice. And as you see, he goes for the Perish Song, but even if he is Whirlpool, it doesn't matter because I'm water absorbed, so he can't trap me, even if he tried. So I'm going to go for rest, and I'm going to be able to I'm going to be able to burn a turn of sleep right here, since he literally cannot touch me. And at this point, this is a good opportunity for him to go into the Manectric, but I have pretty good switches for the Manectric, known with my Amoonguss and my Donphan. So he's definitely in a tough situation where he can't really break my walls right now. So he's going to go into the Golduck, actually. I figured he would go into the Manectric, but this is a pretty good play, I guess, as well. Now, I stayed in last time. I'm not staying in again, so I'm going to predict the Psyshock here. I'm going to go into my Umbreon, because it's really just my overall best play, because Amoonguss hasn't been the counter so far. And he does go for the Psyshock, predicting that. I go into my Umbreon, and it works. He's going to go for Hydro Pump. This is boosted in the rain, and this does absolutely nothing, so without a Life Orb or Specs, Golduck is pretty weak. So I'm going to kill him right here with the Foul Play. That's the 4th kill of the match, kill to my Umbreon. So now he's down to his Manectric and his Politoed. So at this point, he doesn't have anything to beat me. Like, those two Pokemon cannot beat me at all. They just can't. Anyways, he's going to go into his Politoed, and I'm going to guess he's going to go for the Toxic here. So I'm going to predict that, and I'm going to go into my Amoonguss, because at this point, I don't think he would click Scald knowing I have a Poliwrath. That can just burn turns of sleep versus it. So I'm going to go into my Lose Beams, predicting Toxic. And as you'll see right here, he does click Toxic. So I did predict that pretty well. Props to me there. So now he's going to get his Leftovers recovery back. But at this point, I'm going to click Spore, because if he goes into Manectric, I'll put that to sleep. And then I could just click Giga Drain and win the game at that point. I find out his last move, it is Ice Beam. So he wasn't Whirlpool. He just had Perish Song for no reason, I guess. It was pretty interesting. I had no idea why he would bring Perish Song. If anything, Rest is probably better, but that's cool, I guess. He is going to go for the Ice Beam. Does a good amount of damage. Doesn't get the freeze. If he did get the freeze, I just go to Umbreon, click Heal Bell to go back into this thing, and then we repeat step 1. But since he doesn't, I will be able to kill this thing with 2 Giga Drains. As you see, Giga Drain is going to do a good amount of damage. Easily 2 kills from that range. So I'm going to get my HP up, go all the way up to 148 plus Black Sludge recovery. I'm going to be good to go. Even if he does wake up and click Ice Beam, as long as he doesn't freeze me, I'm 100% golden. So as you see here, he will not wake up. And Amoonguss will get the 5th kill of the match. And there goes the Politoed as Lose Memes, doing what he does best, dropping the Dank Memes, and he is going to be able to go up to full, because I'm going to switch on this Manectric, because I have no reason to stay in against it, as he is going to go into his Manectric. And at this point, I want to get the final kill with Donphan, because in the rain, Overheat isn't going to do anything to me, and that's his only move he can really click versus me, unless he has HP Ice, and 2 HP Ices I don't think kills me. So I'm going to go into my Donphan here. Nice Donphan here, as he is going to go for the Overheat. As you see here, this will do a good amount of damage, surprisingly, even though he is in the rain, but that's because it's a crit. And according to my calcs, I don't die to another one, so I'm going to stay in here, click the Earthquake. Hopefully I can finish with style with a 6-0 win, as he does click the Overheat. And this is going to be a pretty close roll, but I do live it with 4 HP. And Donphan going to be able to pick up the Earthquake kill, and that will be the game. So GG to SSA. Definitely a pretty one-sided match, as he couldn't really break Umbreon or Poliwrath. So that's a good game, I guess. But yeah, that was pretty good. Being able to commentate a 3DS match was definitely pretty exciting, because it's not every day I get the opportunity to do so. So yeah, that's pretty much the match. Nice 19-minute recording. And for next week, I play BLS, and he has a pretty scary sand team, as you'll see. Let me open this up really quick and let this load. Yeah, ignore this. Anyways, yeah, as you see, he's next to my name, BLS. He has Excadrill, Mega Tyranitar, Togekiss, Wobbuffet, Feraligatr, Arcanine, Chestnut, Xatu, Cinccino, Regice, Electabuzz, and Swadloon. So yeah, that's his team, and that's definitely pretty scary. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if I can pick up another win. As we start off pretty strong, a 6-0 win is always something to note and something to be proud of. So yeah, I'm Ace Trainer Josh, and I'll be seeing you on my next video. So au revoir and peace.